Mark Uzzle is the father of 2 young girls. The topic he is about to share is dear to his heart. Mark's oldest daughter has potentially life-threatening allergies. This dad will demonstrate how you can be instrumental in saving a life, his daughter's or someone you know. Mark Uzzle, Avoidance or Epinephrine.
Hi, I'm Mark. I'm the proud father of 2 wonderful girls. Allison's 2 years old and Jessica's 4. Although both girls are very healthy, fun, very loving, my daughter Jessica has potentially life-threatening food allergies. Jessica's best defense to staying safe on a daily basis is the education of others. And why I'm here today is educate you about food allergies and life-saving medicine called epinephrine. Now, if you were in a situation where somebody was having a life-threatening injury or illness, would you be able to get involved and help save that person's life? Now, in most situations, I might have to say no. But in a moment, you really have to put your emotions aside and act. On February 10th of 2008, when Jessica was 17 months old, she went into anaphylactic shock. From the moment that she found a cashew on the floor in our kitchen and incidentally put it into her mouth, we had no idea that our daughter had potentially life-threatening food allergies. Within seconds of putting the cashew in her mouth, Jessica's face turned bright red, her lips swelled up, she was gasping for breath. When my wife called 911, she quickly said that we were 7 minutes from a hospital, and the 911 operator told her, if you can drive to the hospital sooner than you think we can get an ambulance to you, then you should go. At this point, every second counted, and without hesitation, we decided to drive. We walk out the door. We weren't thinking about the car being covered with snow or the icy, slick roads. We just went. I was focusing on driving through the snow with the hazard lights on. Carla was in the back seat with our daughter Jessica, trying to keep her comfortable. While Jessica sat there in her car seat, wheezing, gasping for breath, without socks on that February snowy night. She stared at my wife with tears in her eyes, but there was no sound of crying because she couldn't get enough air. By the time we arrived at the hospital, we thought Jessica had given up the fight. She was limp and quiet. As soon as we rushed her into the emergency room, Jessica was able to receive the medical care she needed, epinephrine. From that time, Jessica put the cashew in her mouth until we received the treatment that she needed at the ER. It was about 15 to 20 minutes had passed. We learned later from doctors that a minute or 2 longer potentially could have been fatal for our daughter. Jessica is one of many people who have potentially life-threatening food allergies. In America, more than 12 million children have food allergies. More than 300,000 emergency room visits happen each year as a result of a U.S. child reacting to food allergies. Chances are you might know somebody who has potential life-threatening food allergies. Maybe it's a family member, maybe it's a coworker, or a friend carries epinephrine with them daily. Do you know what that person is allergic to? Do you know where that person keeps their life-saving medicine? Now, currently there's no magic pill that can prevent a life-threatening allergic reaction. I'm trying to stay optimistic and think that someday there will be. But for now, strict avoidance is the key to staying alive. If a person comes into contact with their allergen, there is medicine that will help reduce the symptoms of the anaphylactic reaction. Again, epinephrine helps improve breathing for a person who is suffering. It can help buy them about 15 to 20 minutes of breathing time needed to get them to the nearest emergency room. Still, spreading knowledge about severe allergies and how to use epinephrine auto-injector devices are the way to help keep people safe and alive. The most common form that people carry with them is a brand called EpiPen. But other companies are starting to make similar, easy-to-use devices. The majorities of deaths from anaphylactic shock actually occur because someone who doesn't have epinephrine with them. A coworker of mine explained how her cousin's teenage daughter lived a proactive lifestyle with her food allergies. However, on one occasion, after a soccer practice, when she unknowingly ate some food with her allergens in it, she went into anaphylactic shock. While she was on the field, her epinephrine was in her gym locker. She did not survive. As a concerned father, my mission is to educate as many people as possible how to use an epinephrine injector. My knowledge is based on information I've gathered from various support groups that I've attended, as well as information from my daughter's allergist. If you have specific questions, please make sure that you direct those to a health professional. Anaphylactic reactions to food allergies are most commonly due to milk, eggs, wheat, soy, fish, shellfish, peanuts, and tree nuts, which include walnuts, almonds, in Jessica's case, cashews, pistachios, and pecans. Other causes stem from medication, latex, and insect stings. There are different types of epinephrine auto-injectors out there, but currently Jessica carries 2 EpiPens with her when she leaves our house. This is what they look like. Take one out here. And what I want to do today is educate you on how to use them in case that you need to assist somebody that is having trouble breathing because of anaphylactic reaction. Your action can really help that person in saving their lives. If someone is having symptoms from anaphylaxis, it is vital that they're given a dose of epinephrine immediately. Here are some signs to look for: itching with or without hives, swelling of eyes, lips, tongue, and throat. They might have trouble breathing or swallowing. They might have stomach cramps, nausea, vomiting, or diarrhea. They might be weak, look very pale. They might be lightheaded and even lose consciousness, and in some cases have increased heart rates. Now I'm going to demonstrate the 4 key steps to administering EpiPen. Okay? So first, if you witness somebody having a allergic reaction, you need to locate the EpiPen. You need to take it out of the canister like I just did, and help the person lay down. Take out the end of the epinephrine and hold with a closed grip. You want to make sure you don't have your finger over the tip. You want to have a closed grip, and then you're going to jab it into the meaty part of their thigh and hold there for 10 seconds. After the 10 seconds is up, you're going to want to rub that area for another 10 seconds. The next and most important step is call 911. Say that the patient had anaphylactic shock, but has been given the epinephrine. Now you want to keep the pen with the patient to show the paramedics when they arrive how much was given. Now, unlike Jessica's situation, where we drove to the hospital, in most cases, you'd want the ambulance to come to you. Third, you'd want to give the parents or family members a call with the necessary information. Sometimes people make the mistake of calling the parents and family before they call 911, but it's imperative that 911 is called first so that they're on their way when the family is getting updated on the situation. And then fourth, it's important to stay with the patient, monitor her breathing, and it seems as if though the person is having difficulty breathing, even though they had a few moments of relief, you're going to have to administer a second EpiPen. Most people with life-threatening allergies carry 2 doses of EpiPen with them at all times. So the most important thing to remember out of this conversation is always better to administer the EpiPen when there's a question about the need. The medication will work through the person's system with little to no effects if it is given unnecessarily. The main exception to this scenario would be people that are older and have issues with high blood pressure. But ultimately, epinephrine is, if it's not given, then the results could be life-threatening. Now, these 4 steps are very easy to do, but in the moment, keep in mind that the person might be distraught. They might possibly be vomiting, having diarrhea, or gasping for breath. So again, awareness is the key. Keeping our daughter safe on a daily basis is my wife and my main goal. Now, at the same time, our family motto is to be prepared, not paranoid. So we teach Jessica, as a 4-year-old, to live life, but be aware of her surroundings. Jessica's very excited about going to kindergarten next fall, but we're taking every necessary precaution so that she can enjoy school, but at the same time be safe with her allergens at the same time. A few weeks ago, we found out that our 2-year-old daughter, Allison, doesn't have any food allergies. Now, for parents that have kids that don't have food allergies, they probably don't realize it, but it is definitely a lot less stressful when I leave the house with our daughter that doesn't have food allergies. Whether Allison or I are going to the grocery store or just going to play at the park, I don't have to worry about remembering to grab the EpiPen. I don't have to memorize which street we're on, look for different landmarks of where we're at, and I don't have to scan the environment for potential food allergies. It's very relaxing and enjoyable to spend time with Allison outside of the house. When we're with Jessica outside of our nut-free and sesame-free home, we always have to be aware of our surroundings. Even Jessica at 4 years old is very alert, notices what other kids are eating so that she can stay safe. Again, we want Jessica to enjoy life. She's a healthy kid, but it's imperative that she's aware of her surroundings and that she protects herself from her allergens. Now, the biggest challenge that Carla and I have when we help protect our daughter is the lack of awareness in the general public about food allergies. Many of our family members and friends simply don't understand how important it is that we keep Jessica away from her allergens. Now, most of them try to empathize with us about our situation, but many of them think that we're just being too cautious. Where Jessica's safety is concerned, we cannot be too cautious. My wife and I are always on the same page when it comes to making decisions about Jessica's safety. We agree about the level of precautions that we need to take, probably because we both witnessed her going into anaphylactic shock when she was 17 months old. And neither of us want to find ourselves back in that situation, so we're always as cautious as we feel necessary. A doctor in one of the food allergy support groups that I attended mentioned that everybody takes risk in life, but we have a choice about which risk that we want to take. So far, taking Jessica on an airplane is not a risk we're willing to take. With the possibility of food allergens being so close in proximity, while the medical attention is 1,000 miles away, is not a situation we feel in control. And at this time, we're not really ready to take this adventure, but we do know that Jessica someday will be able to fly safely. Again, thank you for listening to me today. I'm grateful for the time that you've taken to learn about potential life-threatening allergies and how to help in case of an emergency. Now, when I present you with that question that I mentioned at the beginning, if you're in a situation where somebody is having life-threatening injuries or illness, would you be able to get involved and help save a life? Hopefully, you have a better idea about how to use an epinephrine injector if someone is in anaphylactic shock after listening to me today. My mission today was to educate you about allergies and epinephrine. For Jessica's sake and every person that has allergies, I hope I've accomplished this. Whether you take action for being mindful of other people's allergies or have to administer an EpiPen or an epinephrine for a person suffering from food allergies, this dad says thank you.